Hello and welcome to the show. Now, regular viewers of my content will know that I am a rather large fan of the Peugeot 205, one of my kind of dream cars, if like sort of realistic dream cars at least. I would love to own a 205 GTI. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the GTI in Forza games. However, we do have the T16, which is the crazy Group B homologation special, mid-engined, all-wheel drive, and the most successful car of the Group B era. And today, I'm going to be taking it around the Blizzard Mountain Rally course. And there is another reason to love this car, to make it even more fail-racy, and that is because it has the mightiest of wings, and that is always a good reason to use a car. Now, in this series, we're building the cars up to 850 PI, so halfway through S1 class, and the Peugeot does start off relatively high PI. It's up in B class for what is not a huge amount of power from the standard engine. If we go, I say not a huge amount of power, 200 horsepower, 188 torque. We can put the Turbo Rally engine in. We're not going to be doing that one, and I'd like to keep the standard engine if I can. I don't actually know how much power we can get out of the standard engine in this car. As far as bodywork goes, well, this is where things start to get very crazy with this car, because we can have the full-on Pikes Peak kit. This, I believe, is the Group B front bumper that they used. This is the Pikes Peak one. Yes, the wing on the front of the car is larger than most cars have at the back. I mean, Pikes Peak is notorious for crazy aero. Again, I believe that was the Group B wing that was used, and then we stick another one on top for the Pikes Peak kit, because, you know, why not? The weird double wing that you got occasionally on hatchbacks on Forza games looks perfectly sane in comparison to that one. They are lowering PI, but I don't care, because it's got to have that size of a wing. And admittedly, if it does lower PI, well, I'm just going to stuff more horsepower in it. So that's fine by me. Or we can also have mud flaps, or we can have the... I'm actually going to go with mud flaps on this. I guess that's the side skirt from the car. But I kind of want... Actually, we kind of already have mud flaps at the back, so we can have double mud flaps, extra mud flaps. No, we'll go with that one. And at the front, I'm hoping we can have lights. Yes, we can have rally lights. We can have all... that's just a slightly different... It is just a slightly different type of bonnet. All of the lights, all of the vents. It really definitely looks the part now. Hopefully it's going to have the power to go with it. Actually, a little bit of a concern with this car. We'll jump up into A class when we put the snow tyres on. A quick thing about the tyres, I am still going to be going for maximum tyre widths. A few people have been saying that narrower tyres are better, certainly in real life, potentially, for snow and ice racing, etc. Not the case on Forza. It's not how the physics engine work. I will at some point be going in a lot more depth into investigating the different parts. But I did do a quick test, and wider tyres are still better in the snow on Horizon 3. We're probably not going to touch the weight reduction. £2,500, it is pretty damn light to begin with, and I want power. I kind of need power, really. The car that we're going up against had 600 horsepower and was slightly lighter than this is. Now, we're not quite going to have the power of the Ford, I doubt. I don't actually know how much power we can get out of the little Peugeot. Hopefully, we can get a fair amount out of it. Oh, wow. Bloody hell. So, we get 357 out of it, and we're almost at the top of what we can do with this car. That's a little bit fact. Yeah, so if we put on the full exhaust, we are actually over what we can do. What I will do, I will put the exhaust on, reason being save a little bit of weight and then make the PI up in other ways, because I can, basically. And then maybe a way to kind of fine-tune this to get the absolute maximum. So 377 horsepower, it reckons we can do. That's 373. That's no good. It's no good at all. 372. It does give me a couple of PI to spare, but 376. I think the 77, which one was it? It was the fuel system? Yes, it was. 377 horsepower. So we are a little bit down on power in comparison to the Focus, but let's not forget, the Focus was at the top of S1 class. This is only halfway through. So it's always likely to be, although we have seen in previous series that the pre-built cars tend to be over PI'd. I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how it's quite gonna work out. That's kind of part of the fun of this series. Sometimes going for the upgraded gearboxes will drop the PI. It does not in this case. Sometimes it drop it. Sometimes it doesn't add any. Doesn't in the case of the 205, and neither will that. Okay, I think our crazy vehicle is ready to, well, it's definitely ready, looks ready to take on Pikes Peak. Hopefully it'll be ready to take on a slightly snowy, slightly icy course at Blizzard Mountain. So it is off to the Mountain Peak Scramble with the 205. I'm going to get 5 laps around this circuit in an attempt to go faster than the Focus Rallycross car. 1:25.2 is my target time. It might be a fair bit of a tall order for this car, but you never know. I would, though, most definitely be expecting it to go faster than the Supra. After all, Supra rear-wheel drive, that's a very, very big ask for a rear-wheel drive car. So, yeah, this is the first kind of challenger to the Focus. Oh, I forgot about the ice there. Yes, we've got to take that late apex again into turn 1 if we want things to work neatly through that corner. However, so far, I'm like actually quite a responsive car. It gets turned in really well on this. No, in fact, it's got a little bit more oversteer than I was expecting. Can we be flat out all the way down here? Yeah, we can. There's a little bit of sliding going on from the 205, but we can indeed be flat out all the way down as we now bounce our way through this cross-country section. 205 is actually really good through there. 205 is really good through that section. Flat out around this turn. Yes, it will be as well. I'm liking this car. I am liking this car indeed. Chuck it into our next corner. Keep the power down through there. This is a great car to drive. It might not have the power of the Focus, but it is absolutely excellent handling. Take out some of the bollards as we go, and maybe get the car. We can brake really late into that corner. I made a complete hash of that turn. Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible driving. I apologise on that one. And our final corner up here. This is maybe where we might struggle, I think, with the 205. Just trying to get the power down. It was a 29.5, so we're already a fair bit faster than the Supra from a standing start. That is the advantage of all-wheel drive. It actually kind of works out quite nicely for turn 1. If we can do that every time, get that nice late apex, avoid the ice patch, and then we can again get on the throttle. The 205, as far as you know, the Forza Games PI system, the 205 I've never been able to make a good one for any class really of racing. It does tend to be a vehicle that gets a little bit over PI'd for its performance. So yeah, there's a little bit of trepidation, shall we say, about using this vehicle. I don't really know just how well it is going to fare with this, especially when we're half a class underneath our target car. It's always going to be a tall order, I think, for the Peugeot. Come on, get turned in through here. Go. Now, can we be flat out all the way? That ice is so annoying. We probably could be, although there is that big oversteery area down there. Still not happy with that. Still not good at that corner. It's a really awkward one almost to be getting correct. And then the final turn. The final turn is just a simple 90-degree right. This is, with the way that this car is driving, it's much like with the reservoir trail. It's all about trying to keep up momentum, because you can't quite accelerate out of the corners in the same way that perhaps some other vehicles have been able to, or the Focus has, and certainly more powerful cars that will come in this series will be able to. So we've got to keep up our momentum. While it's a very different course in that we've got to keep up our momentum around slow, tight corners, which is perhaps a little bit scarier in some respects, we're still finding ourselves in a similar story. Now, if we can stay well to the left here, and then get the car turned to the right, keep it flat out at 90-odd miles an hour. I'm braking way too early. Brakes on this are pretty good. Not quite as good as the Focus is. That's perhaps not too surprising. However, they are pretty damn good. It's so nice through that cross-country section. I think it is incredible, especially considering we've got that silly front splitter that's got to be a few millimetres away from the floor. Rocks! We're good. We're fine. We didn't nearly impale the car on a random rock that was at the side of the road. No, that didn't happen at all in any way, shape or form. We're going to get big slides. I would like a little bit more rear end grip. The almighty wing is not giving me enough rear end grip. That much is for sure. Again, that was better. I'm still braking too early. My brain is still telling me that that's a tighter corner than it actually is. Don't know if we're on for a faster lap this time round, or probably not, having gone and visited the rock. Again, it's a real struggle to keep that momentum up around some of these corners. It was a fraction, it was a tenth faster than our last time around. On the brakes, oh, way too late. Way too late into that first. I kind of had to give something a try down there, so we can't quite get away with braking that late in the car. We're going to again slide it a little bit more through the next turn. I am enjoying it. It might not be quite as fast as the Ford. I think I'd have to find an absolute miracle on the final lap if we're going to go quicker, but I am liking it to drive. Oh, but it is a little bit on the oversteery side for me, I will be honest. However, it's perfectly manageable oversteer, so it's actually quite entertaining to drive. It's a lively car. Lively is a very, very good way of describing this vehicle, I think. Oh, almost out in the fence again. No, I don't know where we're going there. That was a lot of exploring around new and unusual parts of this racetrack. We're going to throw it in sideways through this next corner. Probably will be. I mean, the next lap is fairly gone, so let's just have fun with the 205. We shall be ultra serious for our next lap, and that's probably when I'm going to bin it in a silly, silly manner. Okay, so we can kind of get away, slow the car down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if we've got the gear ratios at such a point where we're just a little bit too low in second in the rev range, but first we'll be buzzing the limiter. That might also not be helping around there. It's just absolutely no go when you stamp on the throttle. It is also quite nasty uphill, and all of those things combined. Right, this is it. This is the important lap for the 205. Get on those brakes into turn one, and we have got the car stopped neatly, taking a tighter line through there. Little bit of just about bit of airtime across that jump. We need to come up with some names for these corners, I think. I think that's what we need to kind of help me identify them when we're commentating. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comment section. And my favourite ones will be immortalised around this track. Oh, come on, car. Keep that power down. Try and make up as much speed as we can through this section, because this is where you're good. You struggle a little bit later on in the lap, but we can be fast through here. Now, don't let the oversteer catch us out through that part. Indeed, it does not. Up towards double apex, kind of double apex left. It's a bit of a funky one. This a little bit wide on turn-in, although we are now positioned nicely to try and avoid that ice patch. We still do clip it ever so slightly. The front end lifted up down there. That is not really ideal. Foot down, keep it up, keep up the momentum. That was good. That was definitely the best I've been through at that corner. The amount of bravery, in fact, of that turn to stamp on the throttle as soon as the car is settled, because it will find grip. It will actually carry the corner speed. You just don't feel like it initially. The run towards the line. Oh, that was a good final lap. Found a second and a half around there. I'm pleased with that one. Very pleased with that one. 26-1 for the 205. Yeah, I got those final two corners. I don't even know how to describe it with the way that the car is driving through there. I think it also helps, certainly for the first of those nasty corners, the way that the corner is slightly banked. You kind of turn in. It looks like it is a very tight corner. You kind of turn in, but you've got to go for it and kind of let the banking carry it around, and it will make the corner. You can get on the throttle super early through there, which is terrifying. But when you get it right, it is absolutely fantastic. And I think that is a really good showing. I think that is a really good showing from the 205. So definitely worthy of some celebratory donuts out here. Because while it doesn't go faster than the Focus Rallycross car, it will go less than a second away from it. 9/10 of a second separate these two cars. I'll tell you what, the 205 for that first half of a lap until after it leaves the cross-country section, I'm pretty sure this is faster. Up until it leaves that cross-country section, it's ahead of the Focus, but the Focus, there's just sheer power of the Focus on the more open latter section is enough to overcome the 205. But it is a hell of a car, worthy, I think, of the almighty wing that it has on the back. Yeah, we're miles quicker than the Supra, but that is very much competing on a slightly different leaderboard than the rest of the field. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.